it kind of goes over into like some of your winter gear prep stuff, but wear thermals if you got them, but don't wear too much.
Yeah.
Because if you start putting on too much winter gear, you're going to screw yourself. You're just going to overheat. You're going to be weighed down by too much stuff. I wear some thermals underneath where I know I can just take off my kit, take off my shirt, take those off and throw them into a pack or whatever if I don't need them anymore. But by overdressing, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd say if you can get a hold of those Polypros from when I was in the Army, those are probably some of the best thermals I've ever had.
Was
You
it
got a set?
I have silks on right now, but yeah, they issue silks, waffles, a windbreaker, and all the way up to the soft shell ECW.
So you guys didn't get issued the Polypros though?
Which one are you talking about? Maybe
They're like that same color, but they're like a thin wool or whatever on the inside.
they don't issue the frog gear anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's just silks, waffles, fleece, and then your polyester stuff, which is like your windbreaker all the way up to your extreme cold weather pants atop.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find all that stuff. It's easy to find. Check your local surplus stores.
Then the gator necks are really nice too.
Yes,
Well,
get a waffle neck gator and you'll be warm as hell.
Yeah.
Even simply Under Armour. I mean, I wear Under Armour stuff. I have compression pants that I wear, and then I have usually like a base layer, and then I wear the grid fleece, and I call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I will say also, like, there's other brands out there, but this is actually, I think, one of the best ones right now. Cygnus Armory. They make this gator, but it's also got mesh face pro for your teeth. So it actually keeps me warm in the winter, even though it's got some ventilation holes. It's just enough.
well, you lose what, like 80% of the heat out of your head. So you throw a gator on, you throw like the Under Armour silky material balaclava. Don't wear like your winter bank robber like balaclava because you're just gonna overheat.
That is something like, winter can determine, like, obviously your different type of gear. These I think are fine. You can even throw another like gator underneath it if you're like way too cold. Also gloves. In the wintertime, I would say gloves should be a must for you.
Hand warmers.
Yeah, hand warmers. These are summer gloves. They breathe a little bit better. You can get some other, more thicker gloves. But I would say gloves should be like mandatory in your kit. I've seen guys actually cut their fingers and stuff off of grenades and stuff happen. So gloves are definitely a must to add to your kit. And
I wear gloves in the summer even because
I would say it would be worth it for like explosive sunset. I mean, we're going into March, so you need something to keep your hands warm. If your hands aren't warm, well, you're probably gonna bail out a little bit sooner than
During Red Hammer, I should have wore gloves. I got shot
Oh, yeah,
in my
you got-
damn
yeah.
knuckle here, and
that
it's
thing is nasty.
never been the same.
Well, I
I'm
wear
pretty sure
gloves.
it broke a bone or something, like chipped it.
Well, I mean, I wear gloves in the summer because I'm I hate getting poison oak and poison ivy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it a lot when I get it, but it's always usually on my hands because I'm on the ground or I lay my gun down and I'm not really looking at what I'm going to pick it back up and then I've got that sap on things. So obviously the winter you don't have that issue ideally, but even the summer have just a good pair of gloves and learn to work around them because wearing gloves versus your bare hands, manipulating your replica and your gear is a very different process than having a little bit more of a bulky glove on. So again, shake down, make sure your stuff works, make sure it works for you, and if it doesn't, change it. There's, a million videos on YouTube on what works and what doesn't, and somebody's opinion on what's tested, you know what I mean? Just test it yourself.
I think as well with that, like, so on the back here, I have an IFAK, which it's kind of just a cheap, crappy IFAK that I could just throw on the back. But you're responsible for your own health. You're responsible for anything that happens to you. Airsoft, I mean, it's a moderately intense sport and poses
You can get injured.
some injuries.
Especially in our field.
Yeah.
So, I got like bandages and stuff in here if I get cut or, something happens. But, you're out there by yourself or whatever. Do you want the guy next to you to be responsible for you? So, like, carry some bandages. You don't have to load up a full IFAK with chest seals and,
you're
stuff
not
like
gonna
that.
get real bullet wounds.
But
Yeah.
you definitely need something, I think, that can you clean a wound? Can you put a Band-Aid on it? Anything that you can do to kind of take care of your own health. You can even throw in there some of that liquid IV. If you're dehydrated or something,
absolutely.
you put
Those
that into
packets.
your water.
Yep.
Kind of help you out there, but you're responsible for your own self. Somebody else shouldn't be responsible for you, so you got to take care of.
And the thing
your
is,
health.
like, if more people start carrying this stuff, if you happen to forget, at least you know the other people around you will have it, so you can cover each other too.
Well, and I remember when when I had my previous
Do
team,
you have that?
we
admin-
all
the admin plate thing.
Admin plate.
Oh, you can put your phone in.
No, I don't have one of those yet. I
But,
want to get one.
we all had like an operational order of like, hey, this or whatever you call that, of like, hey, every guy has these like 10 things. Like that's the baseline. That is what you're required to have on you at all times. But that was us as a team, as a squad. We ran like 10, 12 guys. So I always knew, and the basic thing was, hey, be self-sufficient. That way, if somebody else's gear fails, we're still an effective, combat team, and we can stay out on the field. Like even when they did breaks, we just stayed on the field and hung out because we didn't need extra ammo, we didn't need extra batteries, we didn't need more water, we didn't need food. It was all there. And so, like, if that is your baseline, then you'll be prepared for pretty much anything we do at G2.
And I've had bad experiences in the past with even some airsoft grenades. I think Ear Pro
The prevalence of these,
Ear Pro is definitely something good to have, especially with Explosive Sunset. We're going to be setting off fireworks and stuff. I'm already kind of deaf from being around construction equipment.
If
without
you
ear
haven't
protection.
seen the old videos on our Facebook of the old Explosive Sunset, you probably should look at that.
But you don't have to
You're kinda
get some
close.
crazy helmet set up. You can buy some $30 ear protection,
Yeah.
Razor Walkers at Walmart.
Yep.
but these things are loud.
They're definitely worth it to have. Take care of your hearing. Take care of yourself. And then as well, something like if you decide to play the night game, which I would encourage, you don't need a PVS 14 that costs $2,000. Or
Yeah.
But you should.
You should. Most definitely should. I can find you one right now for $1,800,
Hey, Trippy.
$1,600.
Can you try to see turn that one back on?
But you should definitely have some kind of flashlight, some kind of mode of.
Seeing something that's not your cell phone.
There you go.
Because if
Thank
you're relying on your cell phone, we're gonna be using the cell phone for Ares Alpha, so you're probably gonna want to go to battery pack, but some type of weapon light, or I actually carry a headlamp. I just wear it around my neck,
Yep.
make sure it has red light and white light, and that's what I carry. I have a weapon light as well, but like for me, like if I'm trying to see for safety, I throw that thing on my neck and I put it up on my head. Like you can get like your arc rails, they've got lights that can hook onto your arc rails, like so you can see, because you're gonna want to be able to see at night.
That's, and I think flashlights are mandatory at our night games.
They will be, yes.
So that's something that you want to get. We do sell flashlights.
Yeah, we can sell some cheap ones.
So you definitely want to have a flashlight at the minimum. Don't be afraid to use your flashlight. If you're thinking that you're sneaking through the woods and you got some dude like me running around with a PVS 14,
They already know you're there.
I already know you're there. So just use your flashlight. Obviously, light discipline is a whole other conversation.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
night
one-
games is like a whole other podcast.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, at
one
the bare
thing
minimum,
with the
you
flashlights,
need a
real
flashlight.
quick, with the night vision, I believe it was the Grom guys taught me that when you're flashing the light out there, you can actually see like a green glow on people's night vision, and that's how you can easily spot them. So definitely use that flashlight. That's why we're going to start to make it a mandatory thing for everybody, because we get a lot of people that don't have them going out there playing, and then they're stumbling around and stuff, and they need to be
and
able to
that's
see.
the biggest thing why I think some people don't have fun at night games, and it's because they're not prepared.
Yeah.
So like if you don't have a flashlight, well, how do you think you're going to have fun and play against? Because you can effectively use a flashlight in airsoft versus somebody who's running night vision. Night vision, the only thing that it really helps me do is navigate a little bit easier in some of those other terrains without having to use a light.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if I didn't have night vision, I'm shining a light around. Well, somebody over somewhere else is going to see me. But if you're playing versus somebody who has night vision, you should always have a flashlight in any night game because you're just putting yourself at a severe disadvantage if you don't.
Which our night games are going to be evolving drastically. That's probably a whole other topic to
Yeah.
add to a different podcast. But even for Explosive Sunset, there is a night portion to the Explosive Sunset
Yep.
game. So we got March, so prepare now. Christmas is coming around the corner. You know what I mean? Like, figure out a way to be effective at night.
Mhm. Tie down all your gear. I think that's another big thing. We have so many people that lose.
Don't
so
lose your
much
keys
stuff.
on the field. You'll never find them.
Yeah, if you're playing a night game, just stuff your wallet in your car, lock your car up, stuff your keys in a plate and pouches that don't leave your body.
Zipper pouches.
We got lockers at the field now too, so you could always
Yeah.
rent a locker out for the day.
So just, patrol your gear, police it, make sure that everything's good to go and you'll have fun. But I think for rough gear shakedown for Explosive Sunset, hydration methods, reloading methods for your BBs, dead rags, just
Dead
those,
Dead lights.
dead lights, flashlights. Oh, iPro, another big thing. Obviously, we only allow Z87.1 plus, or
Yep.
Z87 plus, whatever it is. No mesh goggles, please, for the love of God.
Yep.
Don't bring out anything. I don't care if you
I
have.
think
mesh
we had
face
one or two people bring out mesh goggles this year.
Yeah, I've seen 2 people out here with mesh goggles, and I had to send them back.
Well,
Go
in
get
your-
rid of iPro.
And your prescription glasses with little side protectors are not ANSI rated.
No. No, so you definitely have to have approved iPro, and I will say on that, for a night game, clear lenses are required. Do not come down onto the field with smoke
Yeah,
lenses
smoked.
for a
Tinted
for a
lenses.
night game.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably be a thing that we'll have to police a little bit harder and probably send people away if you're trying to do that, because it's just a safety hazard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that you can't see anything, but it's an actual safety hazard for you. So
And if you want to look cool in your operator pictures, tuck them in your gear, and when you take your Instagram picture for later, put them on. Simple as that.
Yep.
I would say footwear as an addition, and then make sure your gear is comfortable. Like weight distribution for your gear, like you're gonna be wearing it for 8 hours
Yeah.
more.
Save her back.
Yeah, like make sure your gear is comfortable. Like that Agilite plate carrier has really
Right.
thick, nice straps, and you can
No,
buy
I don't think we can see
aftermarket
it.
straps that you can add. You can buy real HSGI straps and put them on your Repro chest rig or your Repro JPC or plate carrier. Like it's not expensive to do that. So that's
Yeah,
the only other
I
thing.
mean,
I'd
they're going to
add.
fit differently to you. I mean, I've used the Amazon plate carriers before, and they worked perfectly
Yeah.
fine for me. You may have to modify them a little bit, but I think the biggest thing is don't put too much gear on it. We are doing, what was it? Was it 5 or 7 mags for explosive?
7.
So 7 mags on your kit. I mean, for somebody who's using an AEG, that's a lot of BBs.
Yeah, especially with the EPMs.
So, I mean, just keep that in mind. You probably don't have to carry a giant speed loader on your kit. That's just extra weight that you don't have to put on there.
Well, it's not allowed to be on your kit because you can only reload it.
Yeah, I mean, so there's no sense in like stuffing 30,000 pockets, and I've done it. I did it in the past where you just have everything on your kit. Like, keep it simple because it's airsoft. It's not like we're going out for a 3-day maneuver.
Yeah. Well, and if you're a machine gunner too, like you have a secondary gunner for a reason. Like if you want to split carrying the extra maybe battery or maybe the spare box mag, like, and you don't want to leave it at your fob, like have your ammo buddy carry it for you. You know what I mean? Like if you're running a fully functional operational squad, like these things should already be talked about. Which there are teams that have that redundancy, but as new players, you definitely need to build in those redundancies in your squad.
And these are things like when people are signing up, we can go over those things. As a team and as the commander, I'd put out there a general gear check
Yeah.
of, hey, this is what you need to bring to be effective on my team. If you're not like fully invested into, buying all this different gear, chest rigs. You can get cheap chest rigs. In
Yeah,
fact, chest
Krydex.
rigs are better, I think, for airsoft than anything. You got less weight, more breathable. So getting those things.
I've got my bigger vest, but
Preparing
that's not, I typically only wear it like in the wintertime because it just keeps me warmer.
I mean, I've been playing airsoft for 20 years, so I've got a winter loadout and a summer loadout. Like,
Yep.
and I haven't spent. I don't think I've paid brand new prices for anything in a long. That's because I'm just cheap, But like, I'm also, realistic with my money.
Well, and that's
so.
the thing. Like, get you a nice jacket for the wintertime, put it over your clothes, and put your gear over top of it, and you'll be fine. You'll be warm because then you can. All right, I'll drop my gear. I can
Take my coat off.
take my coat off and go.
And hand warmers. I put 2 in each pocket, 2 in each back pocket, and I'm good to go.
So if there's an area where you see, all right, I'm fading out about 3:00. Why?
Yeah.
And see what you can do. Maybe it's lessening your gear. Maybe you don't carry 7 mags. Maybe you don't, carry one other thing. Maybe you don't make your 5-pound replica 10 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I think too.
If you're
that's
playing
a
a
good
day
point.
game, I take my flashlights off.
Yeah.
I don't need a flashlight for a day game. I do have a PEC box on my replica, but PEC boxes are
looks cool.
stupid. They just look cool, like you said.
Yep.
Well, I think it's a good point too. Of like, it's always good to do some type of like after action. It's like, okay, well, let me unpack my fob bag. What did I not touch in this bag? Okay, that can go for the next game. You know what I mean? Or in my gear, I'm unpacking my gear, and at least I do this. I take everything out of my gear, and I'll open up this admin pouch. I'm like, I don't even know that was there. Like, okay, yep, that's out. You know what I mean? Like, start to min-max your gear a little bit to where after every event, and you go, or there is the event where you're like, oh, dude, I didn't have this, and that could have been awesome. Like, oh, maybe I didn't bring anti-fog wipes with me. Okay, well, that gets added to the admin pouch. Maybe.
Definitely pay attention to what more of the veterans out there
Yeah.
that have been playing are bringing with them.
And it may be something you don't use all the time. Like I
Yeah.
carry a multi-tool.
Yep, carry multi-tool.
I
Carry one right
can't
now.
tell you how many people are like, "Oh, my gun's doing something weird," and
Bring
it's,
some hex keys or
Yeah, it's
Allen
l-
keys as well.
yeah, it's literally as simple as just having a multi-tool to kind of fix something real quick. Because
I mean, if you need anything more than a multi-tool, maybe even hex keys might be pushing it. You don't want to be pulling your gun apart on the field.
right,
That's how you lose a part that you can't replace.
Yeah, I've only had it happen like one time where like my sight came loose or something. I needed to tighten it up, but
Oh, yeah, like
mine
yeah.
also could take a screwdriver, so you
Yeah.
just put a little knife in there or something. But we have a lot of people at the field though always asking us for Allen keys and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It might not be a bad idea to at least bring one little small set.
throw it in a pouch in your kit and forget about
All
it.
day, yep.
Yeah, we
Or
got those.
put it in your fob bag.
We got those little small ones at the field that we sell.
I think a lot of stuff can be solved if people brought fob bags and threw most of their stuff that they're not actively using in a fob bag. But
And if you're worried about security of the fob bag, yes, there's things that are going to be like that are necessary in a fob bag that aren't necessarily throwawayable. Because if I'm leaving something unattended, I'm like, if that gets stolen, I don't really care. But there's ways to secure your stuff. At Explosive Sunset, the commander's not going to be leaving the fob unless there's obviously an emergency. So ideally, there's going to be eyes on your gear at all times. That being said, don't leave your night vision in your fob bag unattended. I mean, I've heard of stories at Milson West where cadres' night vision are stolen out of their tent. Like, people are humans suck sometimes. So like, but you can get little locks, little cheapo lock the zippers. If you want to get an Apache box that you can throw some locks on, or Amazon plastic box you can throw some locks on, like, do it. You know what I mean? Secure your stuff the way you think it needs to be
yeah, I mean, if
secured.
you think you need a bike lock,
Cabela's
That's got a
sells
chain.
those one boxes for like $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I forget
I've
what they're
got two of those. I don't know what they're called either, but they're thin. Now, if somebody wants to get into it, they could take their pocket knife and smash a hole in it. Like, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
You can't stop everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted my BBs that bad, I just would have given them to you.